Miss Willow, you ready? All right, let's do it. Say hello and welcome back to Women for Wealth. So, today I want to talk about the Trump 50-year mortgage and why it's a terrible, terrible idea. And I do not want you to do this. So, Trump, he throws stuff out. He just says stuff off the cuff, off the hip. And he doesn't think about the long-term implications. And he mentioned this 50-year mortgage as a way that could help the next generation be able to afford a house. But I'm telling you, a 50-year mortgage is not the way to live the American dream. On the surface, it looks great, but it's a huge financial risk, especially for women. A 50-year mortgage means that you're going to have to work for 50 plus years so that you can make these mortgage payments. It's marketed as a way to reduce your monthly payments and make the monthly payment affordable. The problem is that affordability on paper does not equal financial stability in real life. 50 years. Let's be honest, that's half a century. That's 2 generations, to be honest. By the time the home's paid off, many buyers are going to be retired or wish they were retired, or unfortunately, probably dead. This is the opposite of building wealth. This is the opposite of what you want to do to leave a legacy. You don't want to leave debt and burden to your kids. Women already have a wage gap, career interruptions, and higher caregiver responsibilities. Stretching a loan out to 50 years adds disadvantages and magnifies the challenge of a woman ever becoming wealthy. The longer the mortgage, the more you pay in interest. You can end up paying 2 and even 3 times the value of your home over the life of a loan. That's money you lose forever. You don't get that back. That money could have been used for retirement, investments, maybe start a business, your child's education fund, whatever you want to use with that money. But when you choose to give your money away to a bank or to a mortgage company, a lending institution, for 50 years, they're going to collect guaranteed interest payments for 50 years. You, as the borrower, carry all the risk. If the home value dips, you can end up underwater for years and unable to move if you need to move. And you might not have the equity to move if you needed to relocate. It reduces your choices and your freedom and your flexibility in your life. So you don't need to do this. My biggest concern is that this type of mortgage targets people who are already struggling to afford a home. It looks like a solution, but it's actually a trap. Women deserve better than a loan produced and designed to stretch your finances thin for most, if not all, of your adult life. Homeownership should support your future, not chain you to debt until you're 70 or 80 or, again, dead. There are smarter ways to improve affordability. Interest rates, hopefully they're going to be coming down. Hopefully the Fed chief will continue to reduce interest rates. We need to promote starter homes and starter homes be built in communities. We need to reduce unnecessary fees, and we need to improve financial literacy. And also, I think we need to work on tax payments. Y'all, my taxes, just the taxes on the house are over $1,000 a month. I'm paying $14,000 annually for taxes for where I live for my primary residence. Let that sink in. That's equivalent to over $1,000 a month that I'm paying to live in a house that I'm having to pay a mortgage on. That's just not right. We need to do something about this. We need to make it better. A 50-year mortgage, it just doesn't fit your strategy if you want to get wealthy. Total repayment on a $350,000 mortgage at 6% interest, y'all, if 50 years, it's over $1 million. Let me say that again. Total repayment for a $350,000 house is 6% interest, paid over 50 years is over $1 million. You're paying 3 times what the house is worth. Y'all, this just does not make sense. This just does not make sense. Total repayment jumps dramatically as the term increases, even with the same interest rate. So I'm going to ask my editor to put a graphic here, and it's going to look something like this graphic. I don't know if you can see it, but it shows, and hopefully on the graphic, he can add in this. But, you know, for a 15-year mortgage, this is your total repayment. For a 30-year mortgage, your total repayment goes up. For a 50-year mortgage, your total repayment drastically goes up. So that's just a little, you know, graphic so you can visually see it. Please do not fall for this trick. Do not ever sign a 50-year mortgage. I hope and pray that you have a good down payment saved up before you buy a house. Number one, you need a good down payment. Number two, you need a emergency savings account 6 to 9 months, because let's face it, every time you buy a house, you want to make changes or something breaks, or, you know, I just met with a roofer this morning. We've got to get a new roof on this house. If I didn't have an emergency savings account, that could have been drastic and dramatic and negatively affected my financial freedom. But because I had savings, I'm able to have the conversation about why I need a new roof and what type of roof I want to put on it. And I want to put a roof on that's going to last 30 years. So I'm going to put a little bit of money into it and make sure I get something that's high quality and well installed so it will last at least 30 years, if not longer, so that I'm not going to have to worry about replacing a roof anytime soon. But in the meantime, I'll have plenty of time to reestablish and replenish that emergency savings account. So what you need before you buy a house, you need a large down payment. You need 6 to 9 months in your emergency savings account. And I recommend a 15-year mortgage fixed rate. I do not recommend variable rates. Fixed rate, 15 years, the way to go. That's what I did with this house. Y'all, I got blessed. I really did. I got this house on a 15-year mortgage at 2.125% interest. That is like free money, unheard of. I just happened to time it right. I had the money. I had the opportunity. I got, you know, the pre-qualification, and I was able to really get a great deal. And I will have this house paid off in full for my 55th birthday. And I think that's a huge accomplishment. And I'm really excited to celebrate that. And I hope to celebrate that with you. And I hope you celebrate with me when you get to your point where you pay your mortgage off and you don't have any other debt. You know, that is a wonderful place to be. I highly recommend it. If there's anything I can do to help you along the way, please let me know. But short term, this Trump 50-year mortgage, it sucks on ice. Please do not ever do it. Until next time, I wish you health and wealth.